Hello, Stampin' Friends. This is Linda from Linda Stampin' Escape. And tonight we are going to go over the Lights of Aurora, the fabulous new bundle that's in the holiday mini catalog. I want to share 3 of the dies that come in there, and then I'll be using 3 of these 6 different patterns from the designer series paper. So that is our Aurora, and I also want to show you some different ways of using it. So this comes from the Light and Wonder bundle. Comes with the dies, and like I said, we're going to be using 3 of them. Our first one is this one, little water die or snow or whatever you want to call that one. Then we're going to use the big trees and the little trees, and I'm hoping to show a different way of using those for you. So welcome and come on in. So we have our card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5, and we are just going to score that, and I will be placing a white piece of paper on the inside, and it's going to measure 4 by 5.25, just like I have right here. So that is going to go here, and then as you can see, I pre-cut this. I do all the pre-cutting and stuff for my lives so I can keep moving on those. And since my internet kicked me off, I am using my phone. So this is going to go here, and I want to add one of the greetings from the Light and Wonder set, and I am going to start with the Balmy Blue. So we'll get that right here. And these are photopolymer, so let me grab my pad. We'll get the pad out here. It gives us a little more cushion there. Since it's a photopolymer, it doesn't have a cushion like our other ink pads. I'm sorry, our other stamps. I'll get it out yet. There we go. Let that sit for just a minute so it soaks up nicely. I'm going to do that. And then to bring in both colors, I'm going to add Gorgeous Grape. And it's going to say, Embrace the Wonder. So we're going to get our blue and our purple in there. And when these pieces come together onto that card, it looks really nice. A little adhesive on there. And I'm just going to tuck that right on the bottom. And then we'll glue this on. And we will be ready for our first card. Quick and easy. Nice way to showcase the designer paper, the dies, and the stamp set. So that is our first card. And again, Embrace the Wonder. All right, let's move on to our next one. I've got 3 cards here for you tonight. So our next one here, we're going to use Berry Burst. Let's put this die over here so I don't lose it. And I snuck this one from our Traditions of Christmas stamp set and bundle that I used this afternoon. So again, here we go. 5.5 by 8.5. We are going to fold that and score burnish at 4.25. So what I did on this one, because I wanted something a little bit different, this is going on the inside, is I wanted to show you that you didn't have to hack up your designer paper all that much. Always use those little pieces on the inside because that'll work nice. But what I thought I would do for this one is just cut it down to 3 inches, and then we take that little strip off of there, and you've got 3 by 5 and actually this is inside. That darn internet's got me all frustrated. Sorry about that, because it pooped out on me. So I am determined to share this with you, so we're doing this with my phone. But whatever works, right? There we go. Just that little pop of berry burst on there. And that is going to go on the front of our card here. Now, you can see I have this one here, this die, and I've cut my trees out in black. But what I did is I actually cut them in half. So I will put them on the bottom of my card. But before I do that, I want to stamp my greeting. And I'm going to do it in berry burst so we can have some fun with this one. I'm going to flip this upside down. Easier for me to see how well I've got that inked. Nice and juicy, and it's going this way. Hold it on there, let that ink soak up, and then our card will go like this. I may restamp that. So meanwhile, I'm going to just put one layer down here, and I'm going to give it rise just a little bit. Okay. Then I'm going to bring the other one. Oh, that's up too high. Ooh, I'm glad I didn't force that one down. There we go. I'm going to leave that edge out because I'll trim that off later. And then meanwhile, we are going to take our dimensionals here and attach it that way. That'll give you just a little lift, not a big jump like a dimensional would be, but just a little bump up. And they're nice and tacky, so they'll hold that on there nice. There we go. And this one's coming all the way down. So we are going to get 2 layers of trees here. Wondering if we should move that over just a little further. Actually, that doesn't look bad. I kind of like that. So see how you have all those layers. Nice big forest going on there, right? Trim that off. And then this piece will go on the inside. It'll bring that little pop of color there. And then this will go on the front. And we have our card. But I am going to restamp that because I did stamp that crooked, and that I would not send that to anybody. So I'll just trim that off, use that piece for something else. But I just wanted you to get the idea that you can use like a half one. This is so it's 3 inches, or you could cut it into 3 pieces and get a little bit more out of your cards. But with 8 sheets of each of those 6 designs, that gives you a lot of paper to play with. Isn't that fun? Okay, one more here. Let's bring this out. And I know you've seen a lot of these done in the black, or maybe not a lot. Maybe you're just starting to, you know, see samples and stuff. But, they are so pretty. And we're all tempted to do it in black, right? Well, I want it to be a little different, and I went with white. So kind of Christmassy. You could add glitter to this, or you could put some wink of Stella on there to sparkle it up a little bit if you want to. If you do that, put a little bit of that sparkle up there in your Aurora Borealis as well. This piece is cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it is going to take up the whole front. And I am just lining that up now before I set that down. There we go. And then with a little bit of glue, let's make sure my corners are done nice, my edges, so they don't pop up at the top of the trees. But then you're pretty good after that. You don't have to do the whole thing. Although if you have adhesive sheets, those work really nice. Then you just peel the backing off and it will stick all the way on the front. But if you want to take the time to trim down some dimensionals, you can always use this to pop them up as well. So let's lay this right down here. I'm going to leave just a hair of a border there. That on. Let's flip that up and press that down. Isn't that pretty? And does not take long at all. And for our last greeting here, we are going to do Your Strength Inspires Me. And I need my little pad back. Let's get that out. And I used Coastal Cabana. Pool Party is one of the colors in here, but I didn't quite like the way that one looked. It was a little too pale for me, and I really wanted this to pop, especially with the grape in there and the Berry Burst with those nice dark colors. I wanted something that would just take as much attention with it as that does. So I am just going to trim this off here and then just do a little trim. It's hanging on there. There we go. And I'm not sure where my dimensionals went, so I guess I'll just put this down this way. Got a lot of adhesive out here, but none of the dimensionals. Must have put them away. Let's bring this right about there. Right to the edge. I'm going to trim that off. There we go. Super simple. Pretty cards do not have to take a long time, right? So there we go. There's our Merry Christmas. Just showing you that you don't have to use a full sheet like this. You can cut that down into pieces. So again, this one is 3 inches, but you could always go down and make 3 cards with a 2-inch piece. And then here I wanted to show you the 3 different dies as well. Whoops, pin that guy down. So the 3 different dies, we got this one here, which went over here, and we just cut that one in half. So just giving you a few different ideas. Doesn't always have to be black. Make it white, make it sparkle, make it Christmassy. Or leave it plain like this and send it to a friend who inspires you. So I wanted to thank you again. I am Linda from Linda's Stampin' Escape. And if you have any questions, you feel free to message me. I will put links in there. And until then, you have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.